Here's how to start freelancing with no experience. Macroeconomically, we're in tough times. Unemployment is at massive highs, and yet me and my entrepreneur friends are crushing it. Everybody that I know that is paying attention right now is doing very, very well. And the people that are hiding in their bedrooms and not experiencing the outside world are doing poorly. And why is that? It's because the macroeconomics of the world don't actually influence individual people. Just because all your friends are unemployed doesn't mean that you have to be unemployed. And one of the easiest ways to start making money right now with no experience is through freelancing. Finding people that'll pay you for a skill and charging those people for that skill. That is one of the easiest ways to break into entrepreneurship. That's actually how I started back in the day. I sold menu rewriting. I would walk into local restaurants and pitch them on rewriting their menus so that people would buy more often. I was trying to make their foods sound more delicious. So instead of something on the menu like fettuccine alfredo, it would say something like creamy fettuccine alfredo. That's all I was doing, like adding one or two words to spice it up. And I was getting paid for this. So how do you do the same? How do you start freelancing? What skills do you even have? What do you sell? That's what I want to talk about in today's video. Stick around. This video is brought to you by Email 10K. Learn how to book meetings with billion-dollar brands and take your company to the next level at email10k.com. The first thing you want to do is list out your current skills that you can do remotely. And I can list some for you right now. These are some really easy ones to always get started with. Building websites, sending cold emails to generate leads, website design, app design, copywriting, writing emails for other people, both B2B, so business to business, and business to consumer. Notice I'm listing services that people actually pay for. That's the way that you get started in freelancing. We're not coming up with like the next Uber here. We are coming up with what are things that people pay for that you can do also. Uber driving is also one of these things. You want to get started as a freelancer? Uber driving, plug right into that Uber ecosystem, you can make some money right now, as long as you got a car. So list out your current skills. What have you done in the past that you can use as an example going forward? Have you written a blog post? Can you use that? Do you have a portfolio of photos? Maybe you can become a photographer, etc. Look through what you have and list out your skills. Now, once you have that list of skills, what you want to do is pick the right niche. And what I mean is you want to get hyper specific. So when I was going in and doing the menu rewriting, I wasn't just selling copywriting, even though copywriting was what I was doing. I was selling menu rewriting to restaurants. It was a specific service offering to a specific group of people. With our agency, X27, we book meetings with billion-dollar brands for growing companies. So B2B companies that want meetings with billion-dollar brands come to X27 and we book meetings for them. And they pay $4,000 to $12,000 a month for this. That is a very specific offering. So you need to do the same for your business. Instead of just saying, I build websites, what's your specialization? Do you build e-commerce sites for rapidly growing companies? Do you build websites for restaurants that are not online yet? Or do you build highly technical backends to help trailing retail companies enter the next generation? All of those work, and all of those pay 3 different amounts. The third one pays the most. And the reason why I know that is Christina from our course Email 10K made over $10,000 a month selling to these companies and helping them improve their backends. But in terms of ease of sale, finding restaurants that aren't online and selling them $200 websites would be the easiest way to get started with this. And you can always trade to the bigger one as well. You don't have to stick with whatever you're starting with. But find that niche that you want to go after. I would go after a niche that has money. So target the golden geese, companies between $5 and $150 million in revenue, because they're easiest to sell to, because there are fewer decision makers, and yet they have massive budgets. So you're not going to sell a $200 website to a golden goose company. It's going to be more like $20,000 for the exact same site that you would sell to a restaurant for $200. So that's the kind of thing, if you're trying to really get started, that's the way to go. Go for companies that are easy to sell to and have money, those golden geese companies. And actually join Email 10K if you haven't already, because we talk about specifically how to do this step by step, including how to get more case studies, which if you're just getting started with no experience, might be worth learning. How to borrow other people's case studies so that you can skip the line. Then once you have a service and you have a niche to sell to, then you want to pitch that niche. So how do you pitch that niche? What does that look like? Let me tell you. What you want to do is create a list of companies that follow the criteria that you matched. You can use Google for this, you can use LinkedIn for this, Uplead, or any of the tools that we recommend in Email 10K. Then you want to write a cold email to them, and I'll link below to one of our cold emailing videos. You can see exactly how to write that script and pitch these people. See if they get back from that cold email. If they do, you're in business. Now you're in back and forth, you're talking to them. If they don't get back from that cold email push, change either your offer or change your market to someone who will buy from you. And that's how you make sure that you're not working for years and years to try to get a business to work. Ideally, when you're just starting out, you've got no experience, you want to try to find the biggest low-hanging fruit possible. Meaning you want a niche that's easy to sell to and a service that sells itself. And before you have that, it's not worth doubling or tripling down on your business. So stay in that exploration phase for as long as you can until you find a winner. And cold email is the cheapest way I've found to do that because you're not spending $10,000, $20,000 on ads to figure this out. You're just spending your time on it, which right now, your time is worth almost nothing because you're a freelancer with no experience. So while your time is cheap, spend it on finding something that's gonna work. So you go through that whole testing process, and I would do all of this without even starting a website. Don't have a website, you don't need a domain name. I started my first business with just a free Gmail account. You don't need to go through and buy a bunch of these tools. You can, if you want. The only thing I would recommend buying right now is Email 10K because it goes through step-by-step how to do it. But besides that, you don't need anything crazy. You don't even need a website. You don't need a LinkedIn page. Just go and start pitching people. And as long as they're talking about value, so as long as your service offering has a value that it's trying to bring to the niche that you're pitching it to, if there's a match between those, you don't need anything else. So that's all you have to be looking for right now. This video is brought to you by Email 10K. Hey, are you still thinking about investing in Facebook or Google ads to grow your business? Well, I just did, and it took me $10,000 to break even. So unless you have that to drop before you see any results at all, I highly recommend you look into cold email because it's a better and cheaper way to kickstart your business. And honestly, I wish I would have invested the 10K in cold email. I would have seen a much bigger return and have in the past. Hop in Email 10K and watch the free presentation. And that's that. And that's how to start freelancing with no experience. Do you have any questions? Let me know down in the comments. Let's get a conversation going. Smash that like button to encourage this type of content. Subscribe for more videos like this, and I will catch you later. Thanks for watching. I'm Alex Berman.